With a Liberty Safe, you can keep your valuables safe. Things like your drill, your lunch, your taper, or other stuff. Precious family heirloom, pest control, or other stuff. Stupid exercise equipment, extension cords, your balls, tomatoes, or other stuff. Go to libertysafe.com to find your local dealer.
What's up, guys? It's your boy, Benny. In the world of conservative commentary, it is very hard to stage a boycott or to cancel various corporations and institutions because so much of our institutions are totally and completely captured by the woke and leftists. We must take revenge on the brands and products that we have power and sway over. That is why it is wonderful what we have done to Target, what we have done to Bud Light, and now what we shall do to a very deserving brand, a brand called Liberty Safe. Liberty Safe is a constitutional brand that allows for you to hold your products near and dear to you inside of your gun safe. That would warrant you, of course, protection against unreasonable search and seizure, as the Constitution does, but it turns out that Liberty Safe actually will gladly hand over all of your information and allow the feds to unlock your safe. How do we know about this? We know about this because of our friends, the Hodge twins. The Hodge twins, great dudes. You should follow their account. Posted this a day ago. Last week, our friend was raided by the feds over J6. His name is Nathan Hughes. He's from Fayetteville, Arkansas. Nate was raided by the FBI and arrested at gunpoint. His girlfriend, who just had a miscarriage, was held at gunpoint, put in handcuffs. The FBI turned off his security cameras, unplugged his internet, flipped his house upside down in the search. The feds called the manufacturer of his Liberty gun safe and got the passcode to get into it, all for protesting at the Capitol 2.5 years ago. Now, these J6 cases, I take them case by case. Obviously, an enormous amount of fraudulence has been proven here in the charges. An enormous amount of injustice has been done. And I often refer back to the First Amendment that says that we have not only a right, but a obligation to petition our government for the redress of grievances. Do so peacefully, and you should be fine. Sadly, our FBI and our Department of Justice have turned into a Gestapo, deep state law enforcement agency, but the laws of thermodynamics apply. Equal and opposite reactions. You see, they are losing power. They are losing the support of the American people. All polling show this. And so they must grip even harder. And that is why you see images like this of said Gestapo masquerading as a police force, raiding this man's home, arresting this man in public. Look at this. They bring in army to raid the I just came down from the border, and there weren't this many border patrol agents on the southern border with human traffickers and cartels operating in a military fashion. Yet this is what they bring to arrest one single man at his home and then get his Liberty Safe code. What the hell is that about?
All right, that's about enough for now. What's happening, everybody? I see we got a few folks watching. I thought I would do another kind of impromptu live. This Liberty Safe thing, it kind of reminds me of another thing that's happened just in the last couple days that didn't get any national attention, but is similar in certain ways. Now, I'm titling this show Both Sides Suck, because they do, right? They both suck. And, you know, Liberty Safe is supposed to be like a right-wing conservative, you know, dedicated to the Second Amendment type of company, right? Constitutional company. And when asked by the FBI, right, there was no direct court order. There was no paperwork saying you must. But when asked, they turned over somebody's private information, which they probably shouldn't have had in the first place, right? Now, I'm going to compare this to something on the left, okay? But before we get there, I want to show, let's see here. I want to show the statement that Liberty Safe made. So let me pull that up real quick. It's so funny. Like, it's the same thing for the left and the right. They're a bunch of pussies, to put it frankly. Here, pull this up. So Liberty Safe says, on August 30th, 2023, Liberty Safe was contacted by the FBI requesting the access code to the safe of an individual of whom they had a warrant to search their property. Our company protocol is to provide access codes to law enforcement if a warrant grants them access to a property. After receiving the request, again, that word, request, we received proof of the valid warrant, and only then did we provide them with an access code. Liberty Safe had no knowledge of any of the details surrounding the investigation at the time, right? They're basically saying, we didn't know it was a J6er. If we knew, maybe we would have done different. Says, Liberty Safe is devoted to protecting the personal property and Second Amendment rights of our customers and has repeatedly denied requests for access codes without a warrant in the past. We do not give out combinations without proper legal documentation being provided by authorities. We regularly update our policies to ensure both compliance with federal and state law and reasonable consumer privacy protections within the law. First and foremost, Liberty Safe is committed to preserving our customers' rights, and we will remain unwavering in those values. What a bunch of bullshit. They're just pandering. They're pandering to what they perceive as their side, okay? Now, I meant to screen share this for you. I'll just do it briefly so you can see. I mean, this is a lot of words. When you're scrolling on your phone, I think this is a tactic, okay? When you have to say something embarrassing, to pander to your perceived audience, you write a wordy thing and you post it on Instagram, hoping that people are scrolling and they see all these words and they maybe just won't even bother to stop. Either that, or they're just really bad at PR, because this is too much, too many words. Thou thinkest, or what is it? I thinkest thou protest too much. It's like, spit it out already. Okay. And this is where I'm getting at. Basically, on Instagram a couple days ago, I saw a post from an organization that I know a few people who are associated. I'm going to be kind of vague. Like, I'm not trying to drag these people through the mud. But long story short, they had to change the name of their cooperative Farmstand. Okay. This is basically like something we want to see in every town. It's kind of a grocery store for local farmers to sell their products, right? And there's like a ton of people that are a part of the cooperative, right? And maybe that's part of their problem. I keep coming back to this theory that maybe when an organization gets too large, it kind of starts to entropy by way of group think, okay? When there's too many people making the decision, it's just bound to be a bad decision, okay? So let me pull, you know what? The funny thing is, before I read it, there's so many facets to this story, guys. Bear with me, but I kind of trolled this really hard on Instagram. And then I talked to the guy that I'm closest with, who's a part of this thing, on the phone. And I'll get into that a little bit more later, but I found it interesting that when I was preparing to come on this live, I went to try to find the Instagram page, and it seems to have disappeared entirely. So either I'm blocked or they pulled the Instagram feed. Another point of note, I was told by this guy that they hired a consultant to help figure out this situation. Okay. Now let me just read this thing and then we'll take it from there. I would screen share it, but like I said, I can't find it except my screenshot. Okay. Screenshots are useful, people. When they want to memory hole things, it's good to have a backup. So it says, to our beloved Bloomington community, okay? Bloomington's the town that I used to live in. It has been an honor serving our community and small farmers through the cooperative over the last 2 years. We are working hard to better serve our community by expanding on our original mission. Our board of directors and operations team have taken the time to reflect on how our cooperative originated and the mistake we made in the choosing of the store's name. We did not grasp the harmful historical context associated with, I'm going to say the name, guys. Like, I'm trying to be respectful because I know a few people. Like I said, in all accounts, it's a cool organization. So I don't want to like drag them through the mud, but I'm making a point here. So let me go back just to the beginning of that sentence. We did not grasp the harmful historical context associated with Rose Hill Cemetery. By using Rose Hill in our name, so it was called the Rose Hill Farm Stop, we not only harmed community members, but we perpetuated the historical and systemic erasure of Black people. In our quest for understanding community concerns, we learned that many Black Indigenous people of color buried in Rose Hill Cemetery do not have headstones. All right, so first of all, I'm a little confused. Are they Black or Indigenous? Because they can't be both, right? This is the word salad coming out. And whoever this consultant was, in my opinion, is not doing a good job. So I'll go back again. We learned that many Black Indigenous people of color buried in Rose Hill Cemetery do not have headstones. The erasure of Black life is a part of a long racist history in the United States. Our use of the Rose Hill name contributes to that erasure. We apologize for the harm we have caused our community and for not speaking up on these issues sooner. Okay, so I got to take a breath because I'm only halfway through, guys. This was on Instagram, okay, where you usually read it. Let me zoom out like that. I had to hold this thing about 6 inches from my nose to read it, okay? It's a little easier on my phone. I can zoom in. But still, holy smokes. So it sounds like, yeah, I've got a comment in here from Pippinized. I'm not sure if we know each other personally, but it says, sounds like there were a few Liberty safes up for sale on the cheap, or there might be, right? There might be. Most certainly. I don't think they're worth jack shit. Good luck selling one, Good luck. So let me go on. Wow. So it says, we cannot undo the pain caused by our decision to use the Rose Hill name. We are, however, determined to move forward in a more informed and DEI-centered direction. With education from local partners, we have been on a journey of processing the history of our cooperative and learning about the necessary changes needed to improve our mission and values. I mean, it's just so many fucking words, guys. We are moving through this process intentionally, and we have made significant strides. We now have a more diverse board of directors with 3 BIPOC and 4 women farmers. I'm not sure, but I have a feeling that they're double counting a couple of people, right? There might be a Black woman, and she's counted in both categories. So it's clearly pandering. It's virtue signaling, right? And Liberty safes are no better, man. They're no better. You get my point? Both sides suck, man. Both sides suck. God. All right, let me read on. We are moving through this process intentionally and have made significant strides. Oh, I already read that. BIPOC, 4 women, blah, blah, blah. We still have room for growth and are committed to this process. To reflect our expanding mission, we have changed our store's name to Bloomington Farmstop Collective. This decision is an opportunity for us to put our DEI efforts into practice and hold ourselves accountable for our past mistakes. We want to say thank you to our community for alerting us to the mistake we made in choosing our name and the harm we have caused because of this decision. I mean, they're repeating themselves at this point, guys. We want to thank our farmers, staff, and board of directors for taking accountability. It has been a humbling and challenging process. We are grateful to be part of the Bloomington local food community and are committed to upholding our shared values. Best wishes, the Bloomington Farmstop Collective Board of Directors and Management Team. Sorry, that was a workout. Man, what do you even say after that, right? I'll tell you what I fucking said. Again, screenshot your shit if you think it might get deleted. So let's see here. I started by saying I thought farmers were supposed to have thicker skin than this, right? And then I said, why don't we just rename the whole state? How about DEI-iana, right? I'm in Indiana, so I tried to, whatever. DEI-iana. Like, yeah, because, well, clearly, the name Indiana, land of the Indians, the historical context of that word is it causes a lot of harm, right? It causes all this harm. I mean, give me a fucking break, dude. You catch my drift? And it reads just like that American Safe bullshit that I read before. It reads the same. You see what I'm getting at? I'll say it again. Both sides suck. I went on and wrote another thing. I said, what happens when I won't say his tag, but the person that I'm closest to in the association, I probably know 3 of them personally. This guy I'm close to. I said, what happens when my friend isn't quote unquote diverse enough for your board of directors? He is one of the best men I ever knew. Too bad he's white and has a penis. I thought my point was pretty clear. You're bragging about how many BIPOC and women, right? So who's the bad guy, according to you? And I'm not talking about the bad guys from 200 years ago. I'm talking about today. And the fact that a little farm stop was bullied into changing their name by a bunch of woke pieces of shit. Okay. And it's not okay. Because like I said, I like what they're trying to do. I just think this is the nature of a group organization, man. Got to be careful about getting too big, getting too many people involved. You can't make a good decision. There has to be a decider. And it should, in my opinion, be my friend, because he would never have written that. And he was basically told to sign it. And if he didn't, he probably wouldn't still be a part of their club, And if it were me, right, if I was getting pushed around into changing my name from, easy peasy, right, because it would be offensive to the Japanesey, give me a fucking break. Yeah, if it's me, you can go fuck yourself. I don't give a fuck. I'm not changing shit for your ridiculous DEI bullshit. I'm not going to do it. And I'll go back and I'll say, yeah, and fuck American Safe too. Not for, sorry guys. I've been getting freaking robocalls all day. Pisses me off. It's about time to change my phone number, I think. Anywho, so American Safe putting out that blathering piece of bullshit, pandering to the right, saying we're pro 2A and we want to reiterate that we, value our customers' privacy. Like, no, you don't. And I had the same gut feeling about the Farmstop post. I'm like, I don't buy it. I don't think any of you actually believe these words. I think you're full of shit. You're just doing what you think you're like expected to do by the mob, right? You're bowing down. You're negotiating with terrorists, social, emotional terrorists. And I'm not going to fucking do that. People get upset with me. I've gotten some comments recently being like, yo, like, I agree with you on a lot of stuff, man, but like, shut the fuck up. I'm like, fuck you. Like, you've shut the fuck up enough for all of us. I'm going to keep talking, motherfucker. I don't mind making people uncomfortable. I don't. If you're uncomfortable with something, maybe that says more about you than it does about me, right? And the world's just so fucking crazy. Like, I went to the laundromat today, y'all, and I get there, and this guy is screaming into his phone, saying, motherfucker this, motherfucker that. And I hear him, it just kept getting louder. I just walked by, start doing my laundry, and I hear him through the double glass sliding automatic door. I hear him scream, if I don't get a fucking address in the next 30 fucking minutes where I can find my fucking shit, I'm going to kill you, motherfucker. That's as close to a direct quote as I can give. This is how I found the laundromat this morning. I always carry at the laundromat. You can see why. So anyways, doing as we do in the city, we ignore the crazies as best we can. But they keep coming. I mean, I get my laundry in the machine. I step outside, smoke a cigarette in my truck, got my dog with me. I'm just chilling. And this fucking crazy person, maybe it's my fault because I had my door wide open. I had my feet up in the window. I was kind of chilling, right? And out of nowhere, this crazy girl comes up to me and is just rambling a bunch of nonsense. Like, this girl's not right in the head, man. And she's trying to like engage me. And like, I'm like, eventually I just had my fill. I had my fill of it. I said, excuse me, can you leave me alone? You don't make any sense. Please walk away. Because what do? You just sit there and let them talk at you all day while you're waiting for your fucking laundry to get done. I'm sorry, guys, but I've had it up to fucking here with fucking craziness. And it comes in all shapes and forms, right? And from every side. They're all fucking crazy. And honestly, I just feel bad for my buddy because he's like just caught in the middle of it. He doesn't have the words or the philosophy, I guess, to counter it. He's just getting pushed around as one of the white men who has to apologize for the rest of eternity for their grandfather's sin. Great grandfathers, great grandfathers. It doesn't matter. As far back as you want to go, man, you're still guilty. You're still fucking guilty. It doesn't matter. Fucking ridiculous, y'all. I saw this thing and I think I saved it. Let me see if I can find it here. But it's of a black woman basically addressing this issue of like, I'll just let her speak for herself. Just a second. Got it pulled up. Just got to share the screen. All right. Oh, sorry, guys. Here we go.
People, they don't come out and do this crap. The only time they do this crap is when a white person touches them. They're the racist. It's wrong for a white cop to kill a black person, that's for sure. But if it matters, it should matter at all times.
So what are you fighting for? What are you fighting for? You're not here to fight injustice. You're here to cause drama.
It's not about blacks. I am black. I'm not oppressed. I am free.
That's good for you. That's an individual person. What about a systemic issue?
I do what I want. You have the skills. This is a country where you have the skills. You want to do what you want. You do it. Stop forcing on people to accept that they're oppressed. They are not. I am not oppressed. I am black. Violence is wrong, period. It's not about blacks. The blacks kill blacks in black neighborhoods every single day. I've never seen a Black Lives Matter in those neighborhoods. But if a white person kill a black person, Black Lives Matter. Stop the hypocrisy. No,
Why don't you start?
I'm not carrying anything saying Black Lives Matter. I know I matter. Black people kill.
I don't need to carry a sign saying Black Lives Matter. I know I matter. That's an empowered fucking person, man. That's a self-actualized person. You know? And they're so rare. That's why these people at these companies and these organizations just bow down to groupthink. They suck the lady penis of DEI. You know? I mean, come the fuck on, y'all. And the truth is, like, I'm not as mad at the Farm Stop or at Liberty Safes as I am at the bullies, which in these two cases are completely separate entities, right? We've got the FBI being the bully on one side. You know, you don't say no to the FBI because the FBI has every way from Sunday for fucking with you. Just like the CIA, you know, you don't fuck with them. So you do when they ask, you answer, right? And it's the same shit with the woke mob. It's the same shit. Right? I mean, it's just crazy. You know, I will say though, I'm like grateful that, you know, basically my buddy, he called me. He's like, "Hey man, what's up? Like you're talking some shit." And I'm like, "Hey man, somebody had to." We need some self-actualized motherfuckers who are going to say the true thing when no one wants to hear it. Otherwise, we've lost. You know? If anybody's got any illusions about whether or not we're at war, let me dispel them. We have been at war almost my entire life. You could pick a number of different start days. But it's not a war of us versus the terrorists or us versus China or us versus Russia. No, it's a war of everything. You know, really, like, it's basically BlackRock against people. I'm pretty sure. And I'm not sure what BlackRock's even made of. You know, that might be just a good symbol for fucking evil. Of course, somebody might call me a racist for saying that. Yeah, suck the lady penis of DEI. Words that I never in a million years would have thought I needed to say. But here we are, y'all. You know, and part of me wants to say, like, at least the right, you know, the right might suck, the left might suck, but at least the right is pushing back. You know, in the comments, for instance. You know, these lefties are so terrorized by the thought of offending anybody that they won't even speak. Hence them taking down the page altogether. Or again, maybe they just blocked me. I checked on all 3 of my Instagram accounts though, so pretty sure they've nixed it. And it's probably because they started getting other people commenting, saying similar things, and they just didn't want to deal with it no more. Just let it blow over. People have a short memory, right? They'll go back to drinking Bud Light eventually. Just, you know, just sit tight. We're gonna make it. Now, I'm sick of it, dude. We got to take this shit seriously, you know, like people just don't like how seriously I'm taking this stuff. That's why they want to push back. That's why they want me to shut the fuck up. It's because it makes them uncomfortable to think that what I'm saying is true. But it is. You know, you probably wouldn't be listening to me if you didn't know that. You know, I figured I'd keep this one kind of short, guys. It's about all I have to say on it. Both sides fucking suck, which is why it's best not to pick a side. As I've said before, there's no sides in a circle. And that's kind of sounds like a hippie, you know, cliche, but I actually think there's truth to it. You know, you have a hard time stabbing someone in the back, for instance, if you're standing in a circle facing each other. But this whole left-right thing, I don't think it works. I'll also say in closing, I reached out to a friend who's in the fire department here locally, because this Maui stuff is so weird, man. And like, it's such a disaster and it's such a tragedy, and it's big. It's a big thing. I mean, depending on how you feel on the matter, it could be one of two things. It's a natural disaster or an unnatural disaster. And the implications of that are massive. So I texted my friend in the fire department just because, you know, I mean, he knows more about fire than I do. And I figure he knows people who know about fire. So I kind of wanted to ask his opinion. And he said that there's a few guys actually who just got back. They went and helped with the recovery, and that there's some talk about some irregularities observed. And who the fuck knows? I don't know, but I just want to put that out there and say that, like, until we do know, keep asking the hard questions, guys. It's okay to take this shit seriously, even if people around you want you to be quiet and just pretend that it's okay. Because it's not. And I'm not trying to be a fearmonger here, but I'm just telling you it's serious. So you might want to, you know, make sure you got what you need to have. Keep a bag ready. You never fucking know, guys. You never know if it's going to hit where you're at. I tell you what, you know, before I let you go, I did figure I'd play this whole video about Liberty Safes because I liked this guy's take. And I'm not in a huge rush to get out of here either. I just don't have a whole lot to add, but I may make some comments along the way. So yeah, here we go.
Wait a second. Did I read that correctly? Oh, yes. Yes, you did, ladies and gentlemen. Here is the line from the Hodge twins. The Liberty Safe that he had complied with the feds as soon as they were asked to comply and handed over this man's information. Liberty Safe tells customers they provided FBI an access code for the J6ers gun safe. Huh? Listen, I don't know this guy. I don't know what he's done. I assume that these are just trumped up charges, like the vast majority of them. But what I will say is this: Liberty Safe deserves the Bud Light treatment and the boycott treatment. My God, this is infuriating to me. Liberty Safe advertises itself as America's #1 heavy-duty gun safe manufacturer. They claim more than 2 million homeowners have found peace of mind by storing their valuable weapons in the Liberty Safe. They tout their 98% customer satisfaction rating. Yet when it came to giving access of that safe to law enforcement, Liberty Safe is right on board. Customers will find that in the event that they are served a search warrant for their home, Liberty Safe will aid law enforcement in getting that safe open through a secret back door. How does a safe company even have this capacity that allows them to open up any of their customers' safes?
All right, so I want to interject here and say, again, it's almost like I'm not as mad at Liberty Safe because it's the bullies that are the main issue. Yes, is it upsetting they didn't have the courage to stand up to the bullies themselves? But they are not ultimately to blame. Or are they, right? They are consenting to help an unjust mob persecute a certain group of people. It's just like the farm stop, okay? Just like it. They are, in some ways, culpable. When you bow down and worship a false idol, bad things come. You know what I'm saying? And it's ironic that the left is, I saw some comments on some of this stuff about, fuck the J6ers. They get whatever's coming to them. A couple guys have been sentenced to just, 15 years, 17 years in jail for being there. If that had happened to the Black Panthers when they went into the California State Capitol building back in 1960, whatever it was, if that had happened then, and maybe it did, I don't know, but if every one of those Black Panther Party members who went into the Capitol with loaded weapons, by the way, if they had been persecuted and prosecuted the way these J6ers are, the left would have been up in arms in a literal sense. They would have bore arms or bared. I guess I don't know the proper grammar there, but it doesn't matter. Fucking what happened to the left? They've become the racists. And they just don't know it. They don't fucking know it. Let's go on with this video.
My God. My God. On August 30th, they complied with a request from the FBI to open an Arkansas safe of Nathan Hughes, who was served a search warrant in connection with his alleged attendance during January 6th at a mostly peaceful protest. More than 1,000 people have been arrested in connection with the riot. DOJ promises to arrest 1,000 more. Gotta up those numbers. Those are rookie numbers. Yeah. So now there is enormous backlash to Liberty Safe. Liberty Safe felt that backlash and tweeted this, saying effectively that Liberty Safe was served with a warrant that grants the federal government access to the property. After receiving the request, we received proof of a valid warrant. Only then do we provide the access code. So wait a second. Why do they have an access code to your safe? Liberty Safe had no knowledge of any of the details surrounding the investigation. Huh? Liberty Safe devoted to protecting personal property and Second Amendment rights with our customers repeatedly denied access codes without a warrant. But wait a second. Was it a warrant for the safe itself issued by a court with a direct order? Do you understand how warrants work? You can say, we're a private company. We don't owe you jack. Lawyer up, pal. This is what Apple did, actually, to the feds. And we'll get to that story in just a moment. Tim Pool is saying, I don't care that Liberty Safe gave the code to the feds. I care that they had the code in the first place. Liberty Safes are now completely worthless. Oh, yeah, baby. He's right. Rich Bear is saying, exactly. If they wanted to live up to their name, then Liberty Safe would have had a policy to not keep codes in the first place. Would have said, sorry, guys. Tough luck. Hit the bricks. Again, get a blowtorch or take us to court and have a judge declare that we must open the safe. Liberty Safe is now a joke. Liberty Safe is now a Bud Light suppository.
Okay, I'm going to pause again to share something that I saw on Twitter. I'm starting, I keep calling it Twitter, X, whatever. I'm starting to see the utility of this, even though I don't necessarily care for it. It is a useful means of the exchange of ideas, right? And taking the temperature in the room, right? And I saw this, most of the things I saw in the whole thing were saying, fuck Liberty Safe, right? This one, I don't agree with it by any means, but it was different. So hence it's standing out to me. It said for the listeners, the We Hate Cancel Culture crowd is now calling to cancel Liberty Safe since they gave access to the FBI to search the safe of a January 6th suspect. I'm going to interject already. The We Hate Cancel Culture crowd, right? Yes, that is true in a sense, but fuck it. Who cares? We're not playing nice anymore. It's time to weaponize what they started. yeah, we're going to cancel the fuck out of anybody who violates our sensibilities. Okay? Fuck them. I'll go on. Liberty Safe gave the codes up after being presented a court-approved warrant to do so. Why are Republicans calling to cancel companies who comply with law enforcement? Because we don't trust law enforcement anymore. Okay? I'm not a Republican, but people are starting to figure out that these fucking back the blue motherfuckers don't know what they're talking about. And then he goes on and he says, in 2016, my home was raided and Homeland Security searched my safe deposit box at the back. I didn't complain once or call for the canceling of Bank of America. So I guess when he said back, he meant bank. Why? Because it wasn't the bank's fault and I had nothing to hide. Oh, that's a good one, bub. Yeah, I had nothing to hide. So what's the big deal? What's the big deal if you got nothing to hide? Huh? What are you hiding? Why do you have that safe, huh? Fucking asshole. Stop trying to cancel people who are complying with the law. Nah, I don't think I will. Okay. So I couldn't help. I'm kind of punching above my weight class here, guys. And it's showing. I'm only getting, I got 2 views on this first one. But right below this, I don't even know who this fucking Brian Krasenstein motherfucker is. I don't like him though. But right below this, we got Elon Musk, who is desperately trying to walk on both sides of the line. Okay. He says, I think we are going too far with these January 6th sentence links, especially given other crimes that aren't being prosecuted at all. But Liberty Safe had no choice here and are not to blame. I commented or replied, I guess you would say. I said, hang on. Let's see if I can find them all. I said, come on, Elon Musk. Chinese companies are forced by law to cooperate with their government in all sorts of ways. Everyone has a choice. I said, also, what is this we are going too far business? I had nothing to do with it. Did you? Don't imply that we are all culpable for what our government does to us. Right? And under Elon's comment, there was another reply, the top reply. And he's saying 100% agree. What are they going to do? Just not comply with the court order? I said, yes, that's exactly what you do. Refuse to comply. Sounds like you'd be the type to run the concentration camp, arguing that you're just following orders. I'm going to say thanks to Stella Q in the comments for saying the just following orders thing. I wasn't even planning on sharing this little trolling session that I've been a troll the last few days, guys. Been a troll. For a long time, I wasn't on Twitter because I'm like, what am I even going to say? I got nothing to say. Like, and who cares, right? Like just putting words out, just statements, like, fuck it. Like I'll live in the real world. I'll talk to people face to face, but I see the utility and I see how it can be a force for reason, right? It is the public square. Unfortunately, it's just the world we're in now, right? So anyways, I got another comment. Is it LibSafe keeping access codes, or does LibSafe have a backdoor code for their safes? It's a good question. I don't know. I would, based on kind of how the story's coming out, I have a hard time believing that they would have like the code. I think it would be, my estimation would be a what you might call a master key, right? There is a master key code. That's I would assume, because I mean it's like, yeah, maybe they have records like just looking up the name of the purchaser, right? But it would seem to me you would need like serial numbers to get a specific combination, and these safes you can change the combinations. So without direct access or Wi-Fi connection or something, you wouldn't know what the individual's personal code was. So yeah, be careful who you're buying stuff from? You know, like I'm thinking digital locks. No thanks. Let's go back. Let's go back to all mechanical locks, right? I keep my shit locked up with a padlock. And I have the only key, right? It's just insane. And the fact they thought they could defend their decision, right, when they got called out, because nobody would have known about this if it wasn't for the Hodge twins, who know the guy personally, blasting about it, saying our friend was raided by the FBI and Liberty Safe gave up the access code. It's crazy. And, you know, anyways, I'll go back to this original video here. Let's see what else this guy's got to say. Like I said, he says a few things in here that kind of made me think.
Liberty Safe is owned by an NYC-based super woke private equity firm. Oh, interesting that. Before they were owned by a publicly traded company that was equally terrible. Good idea to never buy a safe from a company that has that structure. They will not be on your side when it matters, says Jordan Satchel.
Groupthink, man. I agree. Be careful working with anybody in a group. You know, I'd say there's a difference between a group and a team, for instance. A team has shared values. A group is kind of all over the place, right? Publicly traded companies operate under groupthink because they have no choice but to create profit for the shareholder, right? They have no choice. This company had no choice but to play ball with the FBI, and they had no choice but to put out this bullshit statement because they operate on groupthink.
Liberty Safe just turned off their replies to this tweet. Yes, indeed, that is correct. Liberty Safe has gone and said, no, we're not going to let anyone reply to this. Jack Posobiec snuck in there, though, right before they turned the replies off and said, enjoy bankruptcy, traitors. Correct. Liberty Safe is now the new Bud Light. That is what people are tweeting, and that is correct. We must choose our targets carefully as conservatives, and we must apply pressure where we have the power to apply pressure. Liberty Safe is one of those companies. We are going to bankrupt this company. DC Drano, if Liberty Safe had one brain cell of common sense remaining in their entire company, they would profusely apologize for giving the feds the passcode to their customer safe, cover all of his legal fees, cover all the legal fees of anyone else they did this to, and swear they'll never do it again, but they won't. They're Fed Safe, not Liberty Safe. Oh, that branding will stick. Fed Safe. Liberty Safe has turned off their replies because their customers are angry with them. Stunning and brave. Ladies and gentlemen, this footage is absolutely chilling. The number of people that were brought in on these raids, whilst the inner cities, while there are like open criminal gangland operations happening throughout all of our inner cities. Have you ever seen a raid like this of anyone who marched with BLM or Antifa and burned down or killed? The only person killed on January 6th was a unarmed, peaceful protester who was shot without warning at point blank range. Liberty Safe has now locked their comments on X after receiving massive backlash for providing the FBI with an access code to the safe belonging to one of their customers. Why would you ever have or use a Liberty Safe again?
So I want to say, it's awfully telling when they don't want any more comments, right? You know, I did as my buddy asked me to. I actually deleted my comments from their page because, again, I'm not trying to ruin their reputation or drag them through the mud, but somebody had to say it. But the fact that they've either blocked me or removed the page entirely, it's the exact same as Liberty Safe, guys. It's the same story from different sides. I'll say it again. Both sides suck.
Liberty Safe customers are fuming over it was revealed that the company stores access codes to their safe. One customer is the quartering who revealed that he would be canceling his Liberty Safe order that he made on Saturday. The quartering saying that he ordered a large safe on Saturday. I will be canceling it. This will be worse than Bud Light. These are the memes that people are posting now. That is the $1 million question Ashley St. Clair asks. What is she asking? Well, she's saying that Yashar Ali, who is arguably by every measure a leftist, who is certainly not on the side of like MAGA or J6ers, is saying, why does a safe company have access codes to their customers' safe? Yeah, Ashley St. Clair. Of course, they're going to comply with a federal subpoena, but Liberty Safe should not have had customer safe codes to begin with. They're complying with these customers with the subpoena should have been like, yeah, and get a blowtorch. Jack, if you want our help, then get a judge to directly order us to help you. If you do that in a court of law, otherwise we'll countersue you. Elon Musk saying this is the classic lost my password issue, but for safes. People forget their safe combinations all the time. They call the safe company to open it, but you.
Bullshit. Bullshit, Elon. Shut the fuck up, dude. I don't buy it anymore. You are not on our side. Because, I mean, if you buy a safe and you put all your valuables in it, do you really think you're going to lose your password? I mean, come the fuck on. It's literally the whole point of the device called a safe, is that nobody should have the code except the person who owns it. Dodoy, like, am I speaking Chinese here? Fucking ridiculous.
You see, that's very interesting that Elon Musk would put it in those terms because this actually happened. Apple refused to comply with the feds to open up an iPhone. This was an iPhone of a horrible criminal, a terrorist who killed people in San Bernardino. Apple upholds our constitutional privacy rights more than a gun safe company. They're cowards and frauds. You know that Apple actually sued the FBI over the right to privacy, and they won. Tim Cook saying that Apple's refusal to unlock an iPhone for the FBI is a civil liberties issue. He's correct. Tim Cook saying in a statement at the time, this was in 2016, Cook said that such a move, meaning having like secret back-end passcodes to get into everyone's iPhone, would undermine encryption by creating a backdoor that could potentially be used by other future devices. In the wrong hands, this software, which does not exist today, would have the potential to unlock any iPhone in anyone's physical possession, the statement said, thus making any security on your iPhone worthless, like Liberty Safe is right now.
You know, you don't have to do what they ask you to do. This is the main thing, guys. You don't have to do what they order. Even, you know, not legal advice here, but even if it's a law, if it is an unjust law, you can choose to disobey. Disobedience, man. Fucking Henry David Thoreau wrote the book a long fucking time ago, and we still haven't fucking figured it out. We are voluntary tax slaves. We allow them to take our shit. We allow the woke mob to make us change our business names when they're perceived as racist. We allow the FBI to take anything they want, even if they don't have the right to ask. But no, you know, I'm just following orders. You know, if it were up to me, I wouldn't have gassed all those people. I wouldn't have, you know, brutally assaulted that person unless my captain asked me to. Well, guess what? You could have said no. You can tell the crazy person on the sidewalk that won't leave you alone, hey, leave me alone. You don't have to be so fucking polite all the time. In fact, it's insulting. You know, these statements made by these two different groups. It's insulting to our intelligence. Yeah, you respect the Constitution, my ass. Oh, yeah, you've got all these BIPOC and women, you know, in your board of directors. You can kiss my ass. I don't care. You're virtue signaling, and I don't buy it. Why don't you just be honest? You know, I would have respected it more, like a hell of a lot more, if my friends and, you know, whatever their organization, if they had come out and said, look, we have been asked by local activists to change our name because of the historical context associated with the Rose Hill Cemetery. We have decided as a collective to change our name as a result. Don't act like you got to suck the dick, the lady penis. You don't have to say you're sorry 1,000 times. You don't have to talk about all the harm that the name of your farm stop caused. Because guess what? It didn't cause any harm, and therefore you have nothing to apologize for. Change the name. Be as sensitive to historic context as you want. Call your fucking shit a rose for all I give a fuck. Sort of pun intended, if you will. Fucking Rose Hill Farm Stop is now the Bloomington Farmers Collective, or oh my God. Isn't Rose Hill a nicer name? The very first comment I actually wrote on that post, it got deleted almost instantly. And all I said, that one I did not take a screenshot of. All I said was, wow, I'm glad I left Bloomington. And I'm trying to remember, what was the last part? Don't you love that? Brain fart. Son of a bitch. It might come to me. It was a good one too. I was this close. But no, I mean, they're just like, they're bound down, man. And I don't like to see it, especially with people I fucking know and that I want to respect, but who go along with this fucking bullshit. It's hard to respect them after sucking the lady penis of DEI. Oh, I remember it now. I said, yeah, I'm glad I left Bloomington. I thought Rose Hill was a nice name. That was my little statement. And when I say I'm glad I left Bloomington, I lived there for 8 years, okay? I worked with some of the folks now associated with this collective. I worked with them for about 3. Like every day, worked with them. And I love them as people, man. They're great. They're fun. They have a good heart. They're just mixed up with all this fucking woke nonsense. But they're growing organic food. They're selling food locally, which is what we need to fucking do. It's like the right's better on some stuff and the left's better on some stuff. But they both fucking suck. And supposedly, after talking to him on the phone, I'm like, so like, just be straight with me. I'm like, are you being bullied into doing this? And he couldn't say no. He basically admitted, like, yeah, we've been dealing with this for 2 years and it has been hell. We hired this consultant to help us figure out how to go through it. I said, man, that consultant ain't worth whatever you're paying him. You could have just changed the name and not made a big fucking deal about it. Instead you're just laying it on so fucking thick it smells like shit. Too many words. Say what you mean what you say. Which is funny coming from a guy who's been talking for an hour, but you know my point. But yeah, apparently the people who pressured them, who bullied them into doing this, were jealous because they received a grant while the other people from the, I assume, fully BIPOC or probably just black, I'm pretty sure. He used the word like it's BLM folk who have been bullying us. I'll just say it. I'll say it like it is, guys. I'll say it like it is. That's what he told me. And it's so typical where he's admitting that I'm right, but still refusing to acknowledge the craziness of it all. He's saying, well, they've been basically calling us out online and saying that we're racist and stuff. And, we just want people to know that we're not, and that like we care about social justice and this and that and blah, blah, blah. Right. he's like still a part of the mind virus. He's still brainwashed, but I still love him as a friend. You know, that's why we were able to have that conversation, and we were both like respectful towards each other. But he, you know, he wouldn't admit that I was fully right. I'm like, these people are terrorists. And you negotiated. I mean, how simple can I say it? Like, they were jealous because their black-owned farm stop idea was not as well put together as the cooperative farm stop, which is, in fact, very diverse and inclusive, and dare I say equitable, but I don't need them shoving that bullshit down my throat. Like, they're that way just by virtue of what they are, an eclectic community of small organic farmers who come in all colors, shapes, and sizes and sexes, and I imagine a whole variety of genders as well. Let's not forget it is Bloomington after all. But it's, you know, it's like, it would be cool how diverse you were if you didn't act like you were forcing it. If it was just authentic and natural, right? Natural diversity is one of my favorite fucking things. You know, I've been saying this in different ways for a long time, but, you know, I was taught in school, in terms of ecology, diversity is stability, in essence. It's resilience. I believe that was the specific word my professor always used. Diversity is resilience. And I think that's true. It's why monoculture agriculture is not good. I should say monocrop agriculture. You know, my friend on the phone, he even says, he goes, well, you know, but historically, like, our entire agriculture system was based on the back of, you know, slaves. And I'm like, yeah, but it's not anymore. Except it kind of is, in that we are the slaves. We just don't know it. You know, I didn't say all that to him. In fact, I kind of let him say his piece more than anything. I made my points and I shut the fuck up. And I can understand why, you know, he was a touch upset with me, but I respect the hell out of him for just wanting to talk it through. You know, our friendship is not dead as a result of this thing. And I had a good feeling it wouldn't be, because he's a smart guy. He's not totally brainwashed. But it's hard to stand up alone. And he's surrounded by some pretty radical leftist motherfuckers. And, you know, I made a fucking story post. This was not a comment. This was on my story. You know, this is kind of like one of those episodes I feel almost self-conscious, because I'm like, this is what I said here, and this is what someone else, you know, said there. And, you know, it's like fucking internet inception, but bear with me. You'll see the point. I said, oh shit, where was it? You know, maybe I don't have a screenshot of that one. Son of a bitch. But I basically said, wait, no, there it is. Okay. I said, to be clear about my trolling yesterday, some people I know and some I don't were bullied into changing the name of their cooperative farm stand under the accusation of racism, which was ridiculous. They gave in to the bullies' demand. This is what DEI does. I'm not mad at anybody but the bullies. You know, that was kind of my final statement on the matter, because it's how I feel. You know, fuck the bullies. And to some lesser extent, frankly, fuck the people that bow down to them. Though I get it. If anything, they are the victims of bullying. But it doesn't mean you should just roll over and give in. It's like, did we not learn fucking anything growing up? I don't know, man. It's like this shit with the Maui fires. Like, there's some people putting out a lot of really good information. There's some self-actualized motherfuckers who will not be bullied out of their property, out of their home, off their island because their land is someone's trying to take it. Some people are standing up, but not enough, man. Not yet. I guess we've heard some rumors, though, that there might be a Hawaiian militia coming together. It's crazy that this shit is real, but you would be a fool not to notice it. And I think I'll leave y'all with that. I'm not always good about reading the comments, but I appreciate each one. Stella Q, always good to have you. I'm thinking, is Proud Pups, is that Drew? Or is that, I know that's somebody in the WTF forum. And we had Pippinized. I don't know who you are, but, holler at me. Let's be friends. Anyways, y'all, thanks for being here. And be sure to tune in on Sunday night. We're going to have another forum, and I'll actually be down in Florida. So I'll be coming in from the beach. All right. We will talk to y'all soon.